You've definitely heard about Ausar Thompson.
Ausar Thompson, this brother, hear me and hear me good, Wendy. This is a future star in this league.
But despite being his twin brother, despite being a freak athlete himself, and despite playing on a team that finished with the 6th best record in the Eastern Conference, Ausar Thompson has received about 10% of the attention that his twin brother has over their first 2 seasons in the NBA. And this has nothing to do with Ausar being overhyped, and everything to do with Ausar being underhyped. I mean, if you want any idea as to what Ausar is capable of,
Thompson, what a spin, and banks it home.
I'm sure everyone has seen that spin move, but every time I see it, it still makes 0 sense how someone that big can move that quickly. Actually, forget about the size, how can anyone move that quickly? And whilst we have seen that athleticism on display in flashes offensively, with Ausar averaging a respectable 10 points and 5 rebounds a game during just his 2nd season, the real reason Ausar Thompson is underrated is because of what he does on the other end of the floor. If you want to see freakish athleticism, just watch here, where Harden has the ball in transition. He attacks the body of Hardaway Jr., and I'm sorry, is that LeBron James? I don't think it's an exaggeration to say there are only a handful of players in NBA history that can fly through the air like that. And it's not an exaggeration because LeBron James said it himself. You see his brother in yesterday's game? I think Cade Cunningham said it best. He said, "They are different. They ain't like the rest of us. I've been able to do some things in my career, and those 2 guys, they're just pure athleticism. They love the game, and you love to see that." You heard it from LeBron. I mean, LeBron isn't like the rest of us either, so I don't know why he's trying to put us all together, but they are certainly different, that's for sure. Or how about this play, which is actually kind of hilarious to watch. I think Ausar lets Garland go past him. Just watch, he doesn't get into a stance or really move his hips, but there's a reason for doing that, and it involves spiking the ball once Garland tries to get that layup off. And this is not rare from Ausar. Every possession of every game, Ausar is either fighting over screens to stay attached to the ball handler, or he is using that freakish athleticism to get in the passing lanes and block shots at the rim. And just to emphasize that, I want you to watch this play right here. Isaiah Stewart gets stripped of the ball, G.G. Jackson picks it up, runs the floor, and oh my goodness. If you weren't paying attention to Ausar Thompson on that clip, you might not have realized how insane that chase down block was. Just look here when G.G. Jackson picks up the ball initially. Every single player on the floor is ahead of Ausar, and then out of nowhere, like a blur across the screen, he swats the shot. It was clear just how special he was defensively when in his rookie season he put Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in prison. And what people need to remember with Ausar is he did not have a regular sophomore season. After a very promising year as a rookie in which he and Ausar almost had identical numbers, Ausar was sidelined for 8 months with a blood clot. And it wasn't any 8 months, it was 8 months without any kind of physical basketball practice. So naturally, it took him a bit of time to find his feet, playing pretty limited minutes and not starting every game initially. But after he found that rhythm, over the last 33 games, he averaged just under 12 points, 5.5 boards, 3 assists, nearly 2 steals, and a block a game, doing all of that in less than 25 minutes a night. I think it's easy to forget how big continuity is for NBA players, but particularly a young player, and to not play any basketball at all for 8 months with such a serious injury, clearly it was going to take him some time to find himself. And I think last year will absolutely be the worst version of Ausar Thompson we see. But by the time he reached the playoffs, his body was ready for a different challenge. Yeah, whilst people will talk about the game winner Jalen Brunson hit on him, what also needs to be talked about is the job he did on Jalen Brunson in numerous games of that series, and specifically Game 5. With his team down 3-1 on the road and a matchup against one of the most talented scorers in the league, Ausar single-handedly locked up Jalen Brunson. And when I say single-handedly, I mean single-handedly. Just look at him here isolated against Brunson. He tries to back Ausar down. Ausar stays firm, doesn't bite on any of the pump fakes, and with the step through, Ausar gets back into the picture and forces the miss. I mean, how many times have you seen Jalen Brunson hit the side of the backboard from there? Or this time with Brunson again isolated against Ausar, and again, it's just picture perfect from Ausar, staying attached to him on the step back, and it's that contest, using that length and quick reactions to force a miss. And in addition to this, there was constant full court pressure, even when the ball wasn't in his hands, when he was trying to bring it up the floor. No matter where Jalen Brunson was on the floor or what part of the game it was, Ausar Thompson was attached to him at the hip. And all of this resulted in Jalen Brunson having possibly his worst playoff game of his career in Game 5, shooting 4 of 16 from the field. And to know over the course of the series, Brunson was great and even hit the game winner, like I mentioned. But what doesn't get mentioned is a minute before that game winner, look at the defense Ausar played on Brunson. Jalen Brunson can do that to every single player in the NBA. How many players in the NBA can make that kind of defensive play against Brunson? The answer is probably less than 5. And there is a reason the Pistons were 15 points per 100 possessions better with Ausar on the floor in the playoffs. That's probably slightly exaggerated, but it felt like whenever Ausar left the game, Jalen Brunson and the entire Knicks team breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, literally the LeBron and Kawhi video. But I know what you're thinking. This is all great. What about the offense? Well, offensively, he is clearly still a work in progress, and I think this is where he was affected the most by not playing basketball for 8 months. For a guy who still needs to find his footing on offense, to have that period of time without playing basketball and then coming into a role that was really limited, I think we've only seen flashes of what Ausar could do offensively. Because whilst his ball handling isn't as progressed as his brother, I think there's this idea that he's strictly a defensive specialist, and I just don't see that at all. Just look at him here against MPJ with the low dribble and just blowing past MPJ before the reverse layup. And I know that wasn't exactly textbook defense, but I'd like to think Ausar made him look silly with that quickness. Or look at the touch on this play with the left hand over the top of Franz Wagner. He didn't get much on-ball opportunity last year, but if he continues to just develop little parts of his game, the touch is there, the handle is there, the quickness is there, obviously the athleticism is there. One thing that isn't there for him or his brother that will continue to be mentioned is the jump shot. And whilst it would be amazing if he builds that jump shot, and I hope that happens, he can still take advantage of what defenses give him when they decide to sag off. Just look here, where Harden is sagging all the way off. Ausar uses that space to set him up before the nasty, and I mean nasty crossover, and then with Zubac's helping over, do you see that up and under finish? It was just glimpses from Ausar this year, but once or twice a game, you would see the offensive potential he has. And in addition to that, well, defensively, he's been one of the best defenders in the league since he stepped foot on an NBA court, and he's only going to get scarier on that end. But the offensive development, his playmaking included, is where I'm most interested to see where Ausar can go over the next couple of years, because I think the potential is absolutely there. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content like this going forward, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Dropping a like would be cool. Have a great day. Bye.